Hi, Neil.
Hi, Tim.
You've had a couple of days to reflect on the weekend. Did you see enough in that performance to encourage you that you can go to Reading and pick up 3 points?
Well, I saw enough chances created to know that we can win games. It's whether we can convert them or not. That's the problem. It's been looking at the stats. It's been a problem for about 3 years. I think last 3 years they've been the bottom scorers in the championship, and I think even last year Rotherham, who got relegated, scored more goals. So it's obviously been a problem. And I thought we created some good chances against Bristol City. And as I've said, I do believe that goals change games and give you a little bit of a lift, and the opposite when you concede them. So we don't really give ourselves much of a chance by the way we're conceding goals and not taking our opportunities.
It's incredibly tight at the bottom. Is the key to going out there and playing without fear, the players being brave and expressing themselves?
Yeah, I think selection and what you've just said goes a long way now. They're playing so many games now in so many days. I don't think we've ever seen this before, as in strange environments. And I think it takes more out of one player than another. So I think managers all around are looking at the squads really and saying who looks sharper and should we change this or that.
How much are you enjoying the challenge, and have you been given any indication yet as to whether you might be at Middlesbrough next season? Is that something you've talked to the owner about?
No, I haven't. I mean, I spoke to Steve on numerous occasions, when he asked me to come up, and we've always said let's get this out of the way. I'll give a true assessment of the whole situation to him at the end of the season, what I believe needs doing, and hopefully help Steve in some way to to put that into place. But at the moment, we've got 3 massive games, and that's all we've got to concentrate on, really. Because I can't tell you how difficult it is to get out of that next division. The big clubs that are in it will vouch for that.
Final one from me. Big news this morning, Neil, about Manchester City, the ban being overturned. Do you think financial fair play, just looking at the bigger picture, is something that needs to be looked at?
I think I've got enough on my plate without worrying about them with all that money. It's something that I don't worry about. I think there should be in a championship. I think there should be strict rules and regulations, and clubs shouldn't go outside the boundaries that are the rules and regulations. So, but I don't think anybody can talk about clubs like Manchester City. I mean, the worldwide, the vast amounts of money that's going around. I don't. It's way beyond me.
Thanks, Neil. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Neil, hi, it's Dawn from Look North.
Hi, Dawn.
Hi there. It looks at the moment like you're sort of taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. Does it feel like that to you?
No, it feels like 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. It is strange. I can't tell a lie. I mean, the lads are giving me everything. I can't fault the effort. Whatever it looks like, I know they're giving me everything. But they just keep shooting themselves in the foot, and it's almost like self-torture. And they've got to really, we've just got to hang in there, because I think it could all change in the next few months if we can do. And that's what, I realise how difficult it is when you look at the games we've got and the games that other teams have got. I bet everybody's guessing at what's going to happen here, there, and everywhere. But we've just got to we've got to concentrate on trying to put a performance, and one of those where we don't make silly mistakes and we take our chances. That's what we need.
Have you got enough of the right characters, do you think, to be able to win this battle, if you like?
Well, that's not going to change. The characters in the club is what it is, and the squad is what it is. We just have to get together and talk about things like that after the last game. I think it's important we get as much as we can out of this group of players. They give it everything, and we try and take the opportunities when they come.
I know it seems bizarre because it shouldn't make the slightest bit of difference at the moment, but it does seem that Boro's away form is better than their home form still.
Yeah, they've not, and they've not won a game since last year, and it is strange. Don't ask me why. I think I'll have to change my gear. I think I have to be a bit superstitious to Saturday's game with Cardiff coming up. But it just shows, I can tell you what 10 of those Cardiff players are going to do on Saturday. So we have to come up with, hopefully we can lift the lads here for that game as well. But it is strange. It's no good saying it isn't. But there's worse things in life, and we just got to keep putting a smile on the faces and don't worry too much about the knockbacks, because we've had a few, and just move forward and try and be as positive as we can.
Neil, I must just ask you, before the game at the weekend, you had a minute's applause for Jack Charlton, who's a legend in this part of the world. Did your paths ever cross?
Yeah, a few times. Young man, he used to call me young man. I thought that was quite good, that. But I don't think he's one of those guys that knew what he wanted, wasn't bothered about anybody else, and just got on with his life, really, I understand why he loved fishing, because that's what I do. I love fishing. And, Kevin Blackwell can't understand why you wait hours to catch a fish and put it back. But it's a therapy that you need as a manager to clear your head. And the jobs he's done, not just at Middlesbrough here, which was unbelievable, but the Irish job was fantastic. And he just showed people what you can achieve, really, with team spirit and a good group of players. And it doesn't come easily, that. And, you might think it's quite easy as a manager to run that, but it isn't. And all credit to him. He never shirked a challenge. Always a smashing chap to talk to. And hell of a player. I remember him on the 6-yard box being the first for those corners that were whipped in. He was like a bloody giraffe, wasn't he, on that 6-yard box? And a lot of people have taken that on board yet.
He was one of a kind, really. I interviewed him a few times over the years, but there's nobody quite like him.
No, not at all. As I was clapping, I thought, I'm not sure they'll be clapping on mine. But it's, it's great to see the man. He's a fabulous person and a lovely family as well.
Thank you very much, Neil.
Hi, Neil. It's Chris from Tyne Tees.
Hi, Chris.
You talked there about the fact that obviously you've just got to keep the lads' chins up, with the games that are still to play. When you look at the relegation picture, is it more complicated by the fact that we don't know what's going to happen with Wigan come the end of the season?
Well, I just think you have to just worry about yourselves. I don't think that, I can't say I've not looked at the fixtures, because I have. But when you look at the fixtures, it confuses you even more. So it's just a matter of trying to get enough points from the games we've got left to take us to safety. And then, it'll be decided what happens at the club for future years. I think it's an important 3 games in the club's history, really. We just can't afford to get relegated. But, we're in that pack with everybody else, and I know how easy it is to be down there.
I know you were saying that you've had conversations with Steve Gibson. Have you talked to him about the doomsday scenario that, what would happen if Middlesbrough did end up in League One?
No, not at all, no. I just, I think you've got to wait until that happens. The only thing about that is recruitment slightly different. You have to look at the scenario, if, as every club does, of the worst scenario and losing a few players and where you're looking. But from our point of view, just looking at the next result, really, the next game and 3 games to go, I think that's all we can do.
I suppose when you're looking at things, you can look up the road to Sunderland and see the mess they're in, after going from the Championship down into League One. I mean, that's kind of a sort of how not to do it example, not far up the A19.
Well, the problem Sunderland have is with the problem that Middlesbrough would have, is that every team that comes to your stadium, it's like Wembley. It's the atmosphere, the crowds. You all want to play above yourself, and that's what makes it harder for clubs like Sunderland, Middlesbrough, etc. To come straight back up, because players do lift themselves 15-20%, and it's hard enough in that league without people playing above themselves against you. So I do realise how difficult it is.
I just wanted to ask you as well. Obviously, you've been up in the northeast now for a couple of weeks. Obviously, it is a part of the world that you've been to before. But how have you found it living up here? I suppose it's weird at the minute because of lockdown and COVID. But how have you found it?
Yeah, I went shopping yesterday to Morrison's, and it was good because I put my mask on. It's great for me, really. Nobody recognised me with my mask on and my blue gloves. And that's the first time I've been in a supermarket since I've been up here. But you know, they're just great people, aren't they? They're down to earth. Say it is. The club is their life. You know, they earn money very, very hard. A lot of people up here, and the football is the release. And I feel as if I've got, you know, a very difficult job on me, and to make sure that they've got the football club playing against all these good sides in the Championship next year. I do feel an obligation for that, and you know, I don't think I've ever had to work as hard, but that's, you know, that's what you got to do.
You certainly knew what you were coming into when you sort of took the phone call from Steve Gibson.
I have to say, not really. It wasn't, if I'm honest, totally as I'd expect. But nothing straightforward in football. You just have to get, you know, it's like a game of cards. You have to play the hand you've got, and that's what we've got to do now, and you know, get the lads firing.